All right. I'm getting echoes all over. Well, it's gone now.
I think it's at. Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. What's going on?
Oh,
We don't
it's
have
been.
the.
What don't we have?
Sorry. We don't have Davin who wanted to speak of a lot of things, but I
Oh,
think he's late running his coffee is still brewing. Till then, give us some heads up, or rather some update from Finland. What's going on?
my daughter told me a joke. So what's the thing? What's the sort of the how are chewing gum and a pistol? How are they like similar? Well, if you pull either one of them out from your school backpack, everybody in your class wants to be your friend. There he
Good,
is. See, I
good
told you.
joke, Finbear.
It was like a sixth grader joke. I was like, dude, that's heavy. Oh my god, look at your face. You look like you're fighting for everybody, or everybody's fighting for you. Like you need
Damn
to have
right.
one of those. You need to have like one of those big hats and a sword and shit. Like you should be riding on a horse.
All right, y'all, check that out. That used to be a Bank of America, and now
I
they're
think you
making
did a
it into
video.
another Bank of America. Yeah, right out in front of that.
Yeah.
They're making it into a warranty or guarantee bank and trust. I think this is where I use their little Dropbox for mail. One of the guys
All right.
that's a part of the Tang gang has started voicing his opinion about what we've done in the Hex Postcards group. And, you know, if you want to...
That's obviously his business.
If you want to be a bitch, like come tell us constructive criticism, you know? So I said like twice to him, provide me an address, please, so I can send you some stuff that I've been working on. Because he just wanted to bitch about one of the versions of postcards that we were sending out. And I don't think he was aware that we've sent out different versions that were different angles. So t.me/hex postcards if you guys give a shit. Me personally, guys, I'm getting really cold. Like I'm not giving two fucks about what it is that like my attitude, how it comes off to people. And I missed the last 2 weeks of
me as
this.
well. Yeah, me
and,
too.
And it's
I felt
because I was
horrible.
going through stuff within myself. And so thanks everybody for holding it down last week, and the week before it was kind of an absentee thing. That's what I have to say about that.
Yeah, I don't think you have to be like humble or shit like that. Like you've done a fuckload of work that nobody else has had any interest in doing, and clearly it's been one of the most appreciated by Richard. Like the postcard stuff is a thing that he's always talking about when he's talking about things that the community does, and I'm sure he's like he's your biggest fan, which should be enough for any one of us. Like who cares what some fucking tangerine moron thinks?
Good evening.
Like
hey,
send your own fucking postcards if you have nothing else to do but complain.
Well,
Well,
if
since you
somebody else doesn't want the postcards, you can send them to me.
so
I
the guy
love it.
did give me a Missouri location, and so I just popped those in the mail, and that's why I was doing exactly that right now. So live on the street, sending mail, with my little stamp on it. But
Yeah.
since you touched on it, what? Oh gosh, what did you just say?
About
Um,
Richard.
yeah, and it was past the Richard thing of like people doing stuff. Oh gosh,
Like
that sucks.
like if you don't wanna take part in any other way than complain about what other people are doing, maybe just stay out of their way and let them do what they're doing.
That's what it is that this entire time that we've been waiting for pulse chain release, some of these organizations have been saying like we'll put out mailers, we'll go and do stuff whenever pulse chain is final. And now that pulse chain's final, I don't know that they've ever sent out any mail. So that's a sort of a hypocritical moment that that finally came to fruition. Um, just like the whole fucking Zen argument. Like in 10 years we'll find out. 10 fucking years. So we have to sit here and wait the whole freaking time.
Yeah, just mint those free tokens every day. And see how much we've lost in gas fees over the 10 years. Oh, fucking hell, man.
So guys,
Just,
I wanted to I wanted Finbear to be here, especially because he lives close to the Baltics, which was the last public genocide, or things that came to fruition in that way.
yeah.
And
Holodomor.
and so like here we are, where I think that the Maui situation is a genocide, and I think that it's kind of like a spur of not really like a civil war. It's a little bit different, but like if these people who are tribal, if they speak up or if they start taking actions, they're at this isolated island to where it's almost like the Boer Wars, where like the media can control everybody's view and opinion from far away.
Yeah,
Which I mean, it's like Afghanistan for the United States. It's like Afghanistan and Iraq as well. Um, but like here it is, a blaring thing right out in front of us, and I think that it's worthy of us covering and talking about, just so we at least like laid it down, because I don't know if it's true or not, but there like I saw this headline on this article from last year. Supposedly it was dated last year, and it said like, why are all these famous people and rich people painting their houses blue? And then we come to find out that all of these things that were blue during the fire were untouched, but yet aluminum turned to pools and
yeah.
flowed away, like flowed with gravity,
That's
away from
ridiculous.
where it was that they melted off the car.
That's way
Um,
too hot. No
and
car burns that hot, man.
and then we have examples of how somebody put a laser over multiple colors and it burnt up the colors except for the streak of blue. So these this situation is so interesting to me because these people are tribal. It is their property,
It's been their property before the United States came and annexed them and forced them to play the game of, you know, what all of us are going through right now. This colonization, this playing with words and laws that are completely stripping us of our body autonomy.
Yeah. This coming fall is like I'm really worried about where this thing is going. Like everybody over here, we're being bombarded with like bird flu scares. Like there was this news article in a local newspaper that is it safe to eat fruits and berries from your garden because like wild birds can sit on the branches and there might be like bird shit or something on on your apple. So is it, are you gonna die if you eat something fresh from the from your yard? And the European Union is planning on shutting down Finnish fishing industry. So like we have this, like we've fished for herring on the Baltic Sea since for like ages and ages. Like that was like one of the main staples during winter time for hundreds of years. People ate like pickled herring or just like ridiculously salted herring over the winter because it keeps forever. And now the European Union has decided that actually fishing those herrings is a is a crime against, like, I don't know, like nature that can't take it anymore. So they're planning on restricting fishing in our area, which means that there won't be any salmon fishing, there won't be any herring, none of the fish that we usually eat, which means that even though the break in fishing is only like a year or 2 years, it's gonna completely shut down the fishing industry over here. There's gonna be a lot of unemployed people, and because the industry is shut down, it's really hard to get it back up and running once it's once all the companies go bankrupt. It takes forever for the system to boost back up. And I think this is one of those things that like people aren't gonna be too interested in eating the fake meat that they grow in the Netherlands, or like people are not gonna eat bread that has crickets in it unless they're fucking starving. So they're fixing like a worldwide food famine, and it's kicking in this year. So I'm really happy that I have some potatoes and shit growing outside.
It's all for your health.
Mm,
We know what's best for you. Don't you worry about it.
yeah.
And then Finbear, you posted something that has like Fauci talking about weather, and the weather caused this and the weather caused that. Thanks,
Yeah.
Fauci. Thanks for being an interdisciplinary
Yeah.
scientist for us.
Super genius.
Yeah.
He just, I don't know if I shared the, like I have the Klaus Schwab's book about what should be done now that COVID's over. I shared it in Hexpiracy, but I think I didn't share it in the guild because I felt that it's maybe a bit off topic from what we usually talk about over there. But like the entire plan is out there. You can find it. You can study it. You can see what they want to do to you. And people should get active because we don't have too much time.
I agree.
Yeah, I went and knocked on an old a retired sheriff's door who lives a block away from me earlier today, because I'm just like, I need to start communicating with these neighbors of mine and try to figure out like, okay, what is the structure of like who actually supports who or what ideas. He wasn't home, but I'm, you know, the first step is getting out there and breaking that veil on yourself. And that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I brought up that that stream the other day about dreams, where like my dad like a month ago talked about, I don't know how we got on the subject, but maybe
But let's stay on it.
maybe we was that a jab? Did I just get hit in the nuts? What happened?
No.
no. That was
Let's stay on it. I like this
Yeah.
subject. I just much rather speak about this than weather. Even D-Rush is quiet. He's like,
So-
oh, this is interesting.
So there's a long time ago, my mother had a book that was a coffee table top book that talked about dreams, and it was basically like a glossary of words that you could experience in a dream. And so they could be a sign, right? So you go and you look through this book, and it gives you a paragraph of like, well, this might be something that you're going through. And one of the common dreams, like a common dream is you lost all your teeth. That's a common dream. And
Yeah.
I forgot exactly what it was that means. But another common dream is that you're back in grade school and all of a sudden there's a test. And supposedly everybody else knew that there was going to be a test that day. You didn't know that there was going to be a test. It's a surprise to you. You're not prepared. And you're looking around trying to figure out, like, how am I going to cram for this test? Maybe we could go for recess real fast. Maybe there's a lunch break. Maybe there's a friend who has some quick notes that you could study to at least like pass this test. I don't know if you guys feel the same way about grade school, but that's how I was, trying to maintain all A's and everything. So that situation that I just described inside this dream book, it's underneath the fear of public failure. And so the fear of public failure could be you being judged by other people, right? So there's something very important that you're trying to get out into your local environment, and that quite possibly is the dystopian statism that we have bearing down on us, and to tell other people, like, there's other ways of thinking about this, and I need to get this information out. So if you're going through that sort of dreams, or talk to other people, ask them what dreams they're going through, and by chance they might be going through that same thing. If that's the case, then that might be a recipe for a person who has the audacity to be a leader and to speak out locally.
Ah, all right.
You know what I
saw
mean?
the video. I saw the video you did about this earlier.
It was
has a
hard
good
to
point.
understand if you're
Yeah.
not already geared towards it, but like quite possibly a lot of people will be going through the fear of public failure dream because it's about damn time that they speak up.
Yeah, right before the stream, I was in a Telegram chat that's like all Finns and in Finnish, and there was this one guy who just came into the group, and he was talking about a subject very close to this. He was like, "What kind of lies do you tell yourselves to keep you quiet in a crowd? Why don't you speak your mind if you know that everything is a fucking lie? If you know that everything is not as you're being told, what is the thing that you tell yourself that makes it okay for you to be quiet? Because you know it's wrong."
Yeah,
So I think like it's gonna be interesting once they start to push for the mask mandates and stuff. It's gonna be interesting to see how people react. Are they like are they so out of it that they'll just fall into the fear thing, or has anybody like properly woken up from the shadow that they vaccinated and had in masks and sitting at home being afraid of dying?
yeah,
It's
and
gonna yeah.
like we're gonna ask people, like, what social medias are you on, so that I can get you to the point of like information flowing in and people that are like minds, because often like people want to spread out to that sort of stuff, but right now it's the misinformation, the disinformation parties that are keeping it away from you.
Yeah, yeah. Like you know that if somebody gets their like if somebody gets their news only from TV, you know that those guys are completely out of it. They have no understanding on what's going on in the world.
So Seek
That's
asks if
probably why it will work again.
it's
Sorry?
probably why it'll work again, is what
Mm,
reality said.
Yeah, the
yeah,
new one.
yeah, that's true. I don't lucid dream. I'm glad I don't even remember my dreams when I wake up.
Same.
There's something I don't know what is it. What's the fucking drug that Joe Rogan talks about causes hallucinations? I think our brains sort of produce that stuff.
What is it,
DMT,
Jarash? Yeah.
isn't
DMT
DMT, and it
DMT
makes
is
you
naturally created.
yeah, and
Yeah,
it
just
makes you
fast.
forget your dreams, which is awesome. So I guess I produce a lot of DMT because dreams to me feel stupid. The last dream I can remember, there was a group of Americans in my bed, laying all over my bed, and I couldn't turn to the other side like I wanted to because they were having some kind of a stupid meeting. Like they had a chairman and a couple of other Americans, and I got so upset in yeah, I got so upset in my dream that I woke myself up because I was screaming like, "Shut the fuck up!" I woke myself up. My missus was like, "What the fuck are you screaming about?" I was like, never mind. There was some stupid Americans in my in my sleep. Just go back to sleep.
Oh goodness. So let's see. Ramon is saying that he thinks that a lot of people are awake and they won't take it again. And
Hey,
I
Ramon. Good to
I think
see
that's
you.
pretty awesome, like how we could make all these followers feel like they're being left out. You know, you're not in the in crowd, you need to catch up. So that might be an angle that could happen, you know, creating
Yeah,
a vortex of
of three
interest.
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
That sounds
when
good.
you and your friends move about in like in town, everybody's gonna notice you because you make a lot of noise. Nobody wears a mask. Nobody gives a fuck. Everybody's like, who are those guys?
Ramon said earlier that the CDC is taking advantage of the wildfire situation, telling you to wear masks, and then it's a easy transition. That's pretty interesting.
That this is pretty good. Wearing masks outside doesn't help with the small particles from the fire, but it's supposed to stop viruses. It's funny,
So
like if you look at the size of like asbestos and how big one sort of particle is way bigger than a virus. And when people tear down uh, buildings that have asbestos in them, you have to wear this fucking protective gear, which almost looks like you're going into an operation. And that's to keep the asbestos out. If the paper mask would work, that would be all you need. You just put the paper mask on, and that would protect you. Because if it protects you from viruses, it should protect you from asbestos as well. But it doesn't. We don't need to get into this mask shit. This is all nonsense. Everybody knows it.
I just went over to Twitter and I'm trying to find the Maui fire stuff where like the people are on that front street right there next to the ocean, and then they have to like get out of their cars because it's just bumper to bumper.
And
Either
cops didn't let them go
yeah,
past.
the cops are blocking them on both sides, making it to where the entire family is barbecued, or as Jack Spirko pointed out earlier today, I believe it was him, the people who took responsibility for their life and their family, they
And
got the fuck out. You
yeah,
know?
told the cops to fuck off
Yes.
and
Exactly.
left anyway. They were the only ones who survived. Actually, I saw similar discussions on Ken's channel, the
That was
Theoria
who it was. It was
Apophasis. Yeah,
Ken's. Yeah.
yeah, that dude is awesome. I want to take him on a holiday. Like I would. I'm telling you, man. Next time when we're mooning, I'm gonna sell some shit token that you can mint for free or something. And I'm gonna take him on a holiday. I'm gonna take him cruising or like up around the coast of Norway or something. I'm gonna take him to Lapland and show him northern lights and shit. Like that dude is like I just wanna pick his brain.
I don't know if it'll ever end.
Picking
I mean,
his
like,
brain.
yeah, he'll wear
Never.
us out. You know, it's
We
kind of
can
like
have. We can
drinking us
go.
under the table.
We can go
mentally.
in shifts. Like facing can be first. I'll come in second. And
We
you're
record
already
it.
in American time, so you'll come in. You'll take the third 8-hour shift, and he can
It's a
just keep on
year's worth
talking.
of
Did you
education.
did you read his like he finally have like he
I've
has
got his
everything
note
on paper.
cards where
Yeah, but
it's the small thing.
do
Two
you
of them,
have
right?
no? I think it's like 9 pages or something. He just
Mm.
like the entire thing is on paper now. It explains like all the phenomenon that modern science cannot explain. Everything like light, magnetism, electromagnetism,
Love it.
gravity, like everything. It's like 9 key points. You can basically, if you make the pictures smaller, you could fit it into a half of an A4, like your regular printer paper. You can fit everything on it. It's so simple. It's so
The way it
elegant.
should be.
It's
Yeah.
fucking beautiful, man.
It's sad that you said that people were literally blocked.
Yes, and barbecued. Families
Dude,
were barbecued in their fucking cars.
Yeah.
do you
It's
know
horrible.
how scary it is that people are now that conditioned that they are willing to let themselves barbecued instead of taking action and protect their family? That's
Yeah.
freaking
Yeah.
mind-boggling to me.
How far has the brainwashing gone? Oh my god, don't get me started with that Oliver Anthony guy. Jesus fucking Christ, what a loser.
Don't fall for it.
Oh, what a fucking loser that guy is. Woe is me, and there's nothing
Okay.
I can do, and they just fuck us in the ass, and hey, nobody let me go. Like,
Have
oh
you seen
Jesus.
his self-directed interview or whatever inside of his car while it's raining?
Yeah, yeah.
So he
He's
does
reading a
say
script.
that, like,
He's reading a script.
okay, all right.
You can see that it's on the left of him. Like you can see he's talking to the camera, and then he's looking down and reading a script.
Because I
Uh,
see it as his message being like, hey, us working class people have nowhere to go, and
He's a
all of the
communist.
politicians have let us down.
He's a communist. So
I
it's a
think it's
matter of
really interesting that
time
he says that he
before.
has 3 jobs, right? And
Yeah,
like for him to get millions and millions of views, and him to say that he gets shit pay with overtime. So like he has to lose one of those jobs. Like something has to happen in his life. I just thought of that at one point. But what were you gonna say? Because I'm really interested to hear your point of view,
like
because right
he.
now he still pulls on my heartstrings.
Yeah, because it's designed to do that. So it's the same Tavistock institution music that you've heard from like John Lennon's Imagine, and like all this. It's the same chords that are like you're hardwired for those chords to hit your emotions. It's the same fucking 4 chords that he uses that everybody else uses who want to get you to sing along. And and yeah, basically
Yes,
it's the same brainwashing technique they've used forever.
exactly.
And if you look into the message of the song, it's completely like helpless. There's nothing we can do. The thing is what it is. It like me, whoa, it's me. Look at me, I got nothing. And they're giving money to fat people, and this is so wrong. And he was talking about how it aggravated him that the GOP, when they had their like debate the other day, they played the song when everybody was on stage, and he said that the song wasn't about Biden. The song was about those men on stage, which means that the song was about Republicans, not about the Democrats. That
The
guy is
song
a
was about
communist. Like he's a,
politicians
it's no,
because everybody that's
it's a
running
matter of
for
time. It's a matter of time
president are
before
politicians.
he starts to talk about one world government. Just you wait.
Exactly.
I
That's
can't
Just you
exactly
wait
wait.
how
for
it
that to
He's
works.
a
happen.
fucking communist. That guy is like everybody is being had like heavily.
I mean, the way it works is they get you with the movement, and
Yeah.
now everybody's starting to stand behind this guy and builds his credibility. Now he starts saying things that you might disagree with, but other people agree with.
Yeah,
And
and
this
you're
way is
already
how
in the
they grow the
movement.
narratives. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Haven't you seen? Did you see Alex Jones talking to that one fucking transvestite? That I can see you're a beautiful person. I like you clearly you're respectful towards children. Like they should have taken. You should have been woman of the year and not that other freak. Like Alex Jones is a part of the same fucking shit.
Yeah,
You
so
could
I was in my dad's my parents are still together. I was in my dad's living room and he said, "Well, they are going after Trump." And I was like, "Dad, this is all a skit."
Yeah, this is all just like like a sleight of hand type of a trick.
He thought because one side is going after the other side so badly that they couldn't be working together.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm
They
just thinking like
did.
what would make the checkmate, Dad? You got to get
Did
it from multiple different angles to where you can't wiggle free whatsoever.
did
Does
you hear
everybody know how to
about?
play chess? Everybody in chat know how to play chess? You have
yes.
to
Yeah,
not only mark the spot where the king is, but also where the king could move.
yeah. If you wanna mate the guy, yeah,
Of course, you want to mate the guy. I mean, of
yeah,
course, you want to
Clearly,
checkmate
if you
him.
wanna, yeah, if you want to win the game, you're supposed to know what moves you have. Yeah. Did you guys hear about Joe Biden sending over 5,000 emails while he was the vice president using fake names
No.
to his son? That just came
Oh,
out. It's not on the news anywhere because Trump has wrong opinions, which is apparently illegal nowadays.
I know what neighbors of mine had little Ukraine flags out in front, and they're about to get a door knocking because if they don't admit to Russia or Russiagate is the little thing that's going to open up the mind. You know, they they have to admit that Russiagate was a bunch of bullshit, and whenever they admit that, then it's like, okay, well, why are we doing all the money laundering over to Ukraine? Why is it that our nation is in such dire need?
Our country of 5.5 million people just had our fresh new government has been in session for a couple of months. I don't remember. I don't watch the news, but a few months anyways, and their budget is now complete, and it's 10 billion euros too much. 10
God.
billion euros too much. Like underwater at this point of the government's 4-year cycle. The first year is already 10 billion. Yeah, but like 5 million people pay out 10 billion. Most of it goes to Ukraine, because I don't know if you guys knew this, but the way you win a war is just you have a lot of ammunition and really expensive gear, and that's how you win it. You don't actually need people to fight your war. That's how we do it in the EU. We just send you free shit and watch you die. There's a lot of weird shit going on, guys. A lot.
So
Been going on for so long,
right.
and
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a lot of
But
people
it's
that
it,
have
This
been
is the same
on
old
the
playbook.
bills.
yeah, but
Exactly.
it just feels
only
like
difference-
they put it on fifth gear now. It just feels like everything's coming to a head.
Fifth
somehow.
gear
Slowly
without a
they-
fucking road at all.
exactly.
No
Well-
no road. You know,
Yeah.
like they'll push this electric car bullshit and make it to where like everybody has to jump through fucking hoops at their house. So
Yeah,
I have to remind myself twice a day, at least, maybe even more, that I'm frowning. I on the regular frown. It's sad. They fucking stole my smile from me. And so
Oh,
like I
man.
just need to become a new person.
Change scenery worked for me.
I'm kind of, it's always in the back of my
Hmm.
head.
it's
Sorry if I'm
it's
screaming
really
at the mic.
easy. Like you
And it
don't
doesn't
have
have
a
to be to a different country.
yeah,
From what
and
my
even if it
experience is, just go
even
less
if it
developed.
is, you don't have kids. It's fairly simple for a guy who doesn't have kids to just pack up your socks and take off.
Yeah,
Don't forget your passport when you leave.
I hear you. Across the board, I hear you.
Get out in nature.
Exactly.
A little vacation, a little bit of nature,
Yeah,
a little bit
come
of
over here.
meditation or more
I'll take
meditation.
you to Lapland. We'll go fishing on a lake or some shit. We'll just we'll watch, like, I bet you've never seen a night sky like we have over here.
I didn't want this to be a pity party. I just wanted to, state what the fuck's happening. Yeah, dude, that the night sky, I bet it's amazing.
I'm gonna take
Yeah.
pictures tonight again. This night sky here is way more clear
Oh,
than I had.
oh,
Somebody
Oh.
just said in the Texas chat that it's going to be a blue full
Yep.
moon
Yep.
tonight.
what does it mean? Is
So
it
everybody
like the
get out and look at the
second
full moon.
full moon of the month? Is that what
Mhm.
it means? Yeah, yeah. So it might not be like blue in color, but it's just a second full moon of the month.
Don't y'all just love it whenever some nude account follows and likes your shit
What account?
on Twitter? Like the girls come to you because it's just
Oh yeah, and
nude
they're
posts.
they're not OnlyFans girls at all. They're actual women you'd like to talk to. I know, like that's their gig. That's how they advertise their shit. They're supposedly interested in your shit.
I
for
literally
long
look
enough
at
that
the
they
little
get to
icon and I'm like, oh, is this a new girl to hex? No,
no.
too bad.
One follower follows 200. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can get pictures of my butthole for $20. No, thank
So-
you.
I'll
Quite
pass.
possibly. Like there was some video that talked about like this interview with a policeman, and he was saying that like the Marines showed up on Maui and that they oversaw some of the stuff that FEMA was doing, and that there was a big no-no of what FEMA was doing.
Didn't they-
I don't know if that
did-
shit's true or not. And
Yeah,
then
I saw
also,
that they arrested somebody. Like
Right.
some FEMA guy got arrested.
and they said that they dropped a few FEMA people while they were still working because they surprised them. So quite possibly we lost a few FEMA people. Yay! Another little video that I saw was talking about like there being tunnels underneath Maui, I would not be fucking surprised whatsoever. Something like we're talking about sex trafficking tunnels, right? I would not be surprised. Yeah. Another thing that we haven't yet mentioned, and it's like right up there in importance of these families being barbecued alive in the cars. Maui had this fire start like the day before or earlier in the morning, and they thought that it was going to be bad, so they released school. They sent all the kids home to where the parents are not there to oversee and make executive decisions for the kids. Then there was no alarm warning, which they have for hurricanes and tsunamis. So they have the greatest alarm system, but they didn't fucking utilize it. So all of a sudden, you know, the kids are probably playing Nintendo or something at the house, and all of a sudden the house next to them starts burning. And so they would not even know unless they're outside and they're smelling it and they're seeing how close it gets. So it's a sad situation without any direction from adults, right? You're burning a village without adults there. What is going to happen with the kids? And then on top of that, there's the whole idea that it could be directed energy weapons.
Hey,
which,
I got a question.
by the way, next door on Maui, next door is one of two facilities that created and maintain directed energy weapons for the United States government. So, coincidence? Yeah. I think not. What's up, Marcus?
What is the topography there? Is it because it said a wildfire? Are there trees there? Like, is that a thing?
Yeah, but that didn't burn.
I don't think there's much trees.
Okay, so what burns? That's what I had a question. Like, is it? It's not really like
grass fire turns into residential areas, and then skips over a few neighborhoods, and burns the main portion of downtown. And so, like, it was set like the police defend their position by saying like, oh, the wildfire was over here, so we needed people to go this way, and then the wildfire was over here, so we needed people to go that way, and that's why it was a back and forth. Another outlier is that over in Las Vegas, whenever they had that shooting where somebody from a certain story of a hotel shot down at the audience in an outdoor amphitheater during a concert.
It was like a country
music
gig or something. Yeah.
So I forget what exactly we call that Vegas shooting situation. But
isn't it like starts with an F?
One of the officers that responded to it, he is now promoted to the chief of the Maui Police Department. And then he also brought some of his fellow mates from that police department over to Maui. And now he's the lead guy on this cover-up situation.
I'd be willing to bet $1 or $2 that guy is a Freemason.
So, yeah. So I don't want everybody to go and like go into the rabbit holes and for you to like put a lot of emotion and stress into this sort of thing. Instead, we just need to take the 3,000 foot view, step back, the bird's eye view, and recognize that fuckery is happening.
Yeah, we don't have to. We don't have to. We don't have to live in this fuckery. We can choose to build our own stuff. We can choose to be happy. We can choose to ignore the crazy. We don't have to comply. And once there's enough of us doing it, people are gonna notice. They're gonna be like, "Hey, who are these people who don't give a fuck when like Look at that guy. They just closed his bank accounts, and there he is, fucking happy as a pig in shit. Like, like not a single worry in the world. And why would you have if you have enough chickens and potatoes in your basement?
So just
Fuck
like
you
I've
all.
been asking folks, like rise up to the occasion of marketing Hex, and I'll gladly send you some cards and certificates and all sorts of things in order for you to
And
have
and
tools on hand to talk to people about Hex. Right, rise to the occasion of that. Will also rise to the occasion of uh, starting to recognize like entryways into conversation or little subtle planting of seeds so that folks are that much further along in waking up to the dystopia.
yeah, and
Because I've been
all,
sitting here for a decade. I came back to my hometown in 2012 thinking financial collapse was going to happen because somebody is going to be responsible, but no one. They keep kicking it down the road. And so it's been an
yeah,
entire decade that I've been here telling all sorts of people. Of course, my closest family members have known. All of my girlfriends have been exposed to it, whether they believe it in the end or not. um
there's no
yeah.
escaping it. Yeah, I know.
Well,
Once you start,
usually
like
you
the
lose
thing
all
is,
those friends.
yeah, once you start noticing, you can't go back, and it's really easy to fall into this pit of desperation and feelings of like powerlessness, and that's what that Oliver Anthony guy is feeding. It's that same feeling of there's nothing we can do. We just have to accept the situation. It's a good thing that we're gonna get a universal basic income and stuff, so that we don't have to work for shit pay and do our like. How believable is it that a guy who's working 3 jobs and making minimum wage and not getting enough money would turn down an $8 million record deal with, like, I would imagine
Uh-huh.
not many strings
Makes sense.
attached? And he's like, no man, I'd rather uh, drive around in my shitty pickup truck and go from a chicken festival to a chicken festival and make 40 grand a day playing my fucking lute. Like, fuck
But
you,
I
guy.
I
Nobody
could
believes
believe
that.
that. I could believe that where like I can't believe that he could pass up $8 million, but I can believe that there would be strings attached. There everything would be controlled. And for him to almost like go from farmers market to farmers market and charge an entry fee of $10 to be there in the small little corral.
Mm.
I could see it as a little bit of a threat of a movement. But I was talking to Trap Gravity on the phone, and I was like, if any politician would be smart, they would ask him to come and be a part of like Trump would
They have.
grab him,
They have, and
really
he's refused. Yeah, they have,
bring
and
him
he's
along.
refused. And he's refused because he's not gonna go with Republicans, and Democrats are not gonna go with like ask him because like he's too racist now. If you've read Rolling Stone or
The
whatever,
reviews, yeah.
like they label him as a racist. So basically, like he's making a mess on both sides. But it's funny how like it's like I had this one meme that I shared that it's like My Chemical Romance for fucking
Right.
boomers. Hey, Moon Boys.
I wasn't
Yeah. So
checking chat. Diraj, was there good shit in the chat?
there's a lot
No,
of we got a few good
Hey,
new
Crypty
guys in the
Girl,
chat as
good to
well.
see you.
Hello, hello.
I'm not being too harsh, Crypty Girl.
I hope she's still listening.
Alex
We've
Jones,
stayed.
controlled
We've
opposition.
absolutely, like back in the day, he used to name names that he doesn't mention anymore. It's really funny. Like once he got into stations that were big enough and he got enough money, from his I don't know what he sells.
Hi,
His
Siren.
freaking Superman drops. All of a sudden, he stopped talking about those people.
You know, Crypty Girl, last time she joined us, she talked about firsthand and secondhand water. That was a
Yes.
really interesting subject if we like get into it, you know.
Yeah,
Yes.
We we need to have
I never
direct
forget that
sources,
one.
first-hand filtered water from the earth. I mean,
absolutely.
filtered through the earth. Yeah.
Yeah,
Natural springs.
I have a spring about 300 meters from my plot. Just walk into the woods. There's a huge boulder
Still looking.
left over after the ice age, and pretty close to
It's,
it there's a spring just there. Blip, blip, blip,
it's
blip,
funny
blip.
that you
What is
bring
what
that
is
up
coming?
because it's literally what I was researching prior to getting on foodies. I literally have the natural aquifer and spring map of Portugal that I'm trying to study to figure out, but my closest location is to spring water. It's so funny how this universe works.
So, what are you thinking
Hmm.
about doing? Like taking some bottles over to collect every once in a while?
That's how people
Mm,
do it over here. Like you can't put any pipes or stuff there because it's like somebody owns the land and people
yep.
would really like frown upon it. But it's okay if you have like canisters. Like you can take like a 5-gallon jug and fill it with spring water and bring it home.
We have one here in the village, and that is attached to the what is it, laundry area. So they have a concrete laundry, yeah, bucket or case, how you want to call it, and it has the ribbons in it and multiple basins, and then spring water will come in one basin and flow over to the new ones, and then you can wash and rinse your laundry by hand.
Oh. Yeah, so the first thing that happens to the water once it comes out of the ground is people fuck it up with detergents.
Well, if you use natural phosphates, then it's perfectly fine. It's exactly what plants need, so you should be good there. But yeah,
Yeah,
no modern chemicals, no detergents, no softeners, none of those.
yeah.
Hey, Ramon, believe it or not, we had a flat Earth episode one time, and we went through all sorts of stuff. Facing Reality took us through it all. He had all sorts of graphics on the screen. Maybe you
Oh,
could search
dudes,
for that. It was whenever our name was still Foodies.
dudes,
Yeah.
did you see? Did you see? There's this guy in Israel who took a live video recording where he had his camera pointing towards Greece from Israel. That's like 616 miles across the ocean.
That sounds
And
awesome.
Hmm.
he photographed the sunset, and you could see the outline of the mountain range that even Google said that it should look like this. But the only thing is that the mountain range should be over 70,000 kilometers high to be visible on a curved surface, but it's only
Hmm.
300 meters high in real life. So somehow it didn't
Yeah.
make much sense that you could see it. But the dude followed the sun. You could actually see oil rigs, Israeli oil rigs in the sea. They're not that like Israel doesn't give out that oil rig information as readily as Norwegians do. So it was a surprise to the guy to realize that there's an actual oil rig in the line of sight. But the oil rig was like to the left of the frame, and then you could see sun going down the horizon, and you could see the mountain range, and
Beautiful.
and
Yeah.
yeah, but
Seen it.
616 miles away. That's a bit too far for a curved
It-
Earth.
And so it should be 6 inches every mile drop.
on
6
average.
inch. Was it
8
a
inches
6
per
or
mile
8
squared.
inches per mile squared?
Just so everybody has a
It's an
reference.
accepted reference, but even though it should be
So like I know
not
Marcus doesn't agree with us, and that's actually perfectly fine by me, because I'm just like telling you what other people have observed. And that's the thing, that if the Earth is the shape that they say it is, our observations should, like,
line up.
to me it would make sense that our observations should verify it. But when we see stuff like this happening, like, you can take a really good camera and you can take a picture in Helsinki. You can be like maybe 100 meters from the surface of the sea, and you can take a picture from Tallinna, which is like across the fucking sea. Like in Estonia, you can take a picture of their capital. That's 80 kilometers across. You shouldn't be able to see there. But motherfucker, if you just zoom out, there it is. It doesn't make any sense that, like, none of the tests that we do actually prove the shape.
I do have some experience with shooting and how if you can hold a straight line, it does veer to the right
I
specifically.
remember we spoke about this, or wrote about it in Strape the other one evening.
And how
But
it is
that's all
controlled.
we-
Like you can control how far it goes to the right, specifically in the northern hemisphere. I don't know about the southern hemisphere.
But
Yeah, and that's
tests have
that.
shown out that it's all nonsense because they want to imply Coriolis effect. But even if that was the case, the amount of exposure you have in the bullet flight and how much it is so negligible that it's, what was it, 10 to the power 13 less than wind. So there's literally no valid point to actually presume that, even though that Coriolis effect isn't a force, it's an apparent deviation. So even modern science or basic science and physics do not support the heliocentric model. None of them. It's all belief system.
Also,
Unfortunately.
I watched this military background guy who was recently retired. He was going through the arithmetics on how a round Earth is impossible when you compare it to, like, the observations that we have. And and he said that the military doesn't give a fuck about the curvature when they're counting like ballistic trajectories for cannons or whatever. They do not give a flying toss about how much the Earth curves underneath the ammunition before it lands.
That's correct. Or take the spin in consideration. The
I,
things that
I'm
we
gonna
use on a
I'm gonna
daily
have to
basis.
I'm gonna have to look it up, and I can share it in the chat, because I thought it was pretty interesting. I'd like to geek out on the math myself, because when I was a teen and my testicles were more active than they are today, I found mathematics completely useless, and I was more interested in the buttocks of my classmates. So I
Well,
spent my time
I'm a butt guy
daydreaming.
mathematics
too.
I spent my time
mathematics is only
daydreaming.
used to help you get to a point. That's all. It can never negate reality. It can never negate physics. It can never negate any of them. So when people come with, when you say to somebody, physics dictates this, and they come to you and say, yeah, but math, that doesn't work. You can
Yeah.
sure you can make up a calculation within math that something can or cannot work, but that doesn't mean that math proves anything. Words can't prove anything. Math is speech. It's a description of. Math can't prove anything. It's just a description.
And also, I'd like to add to this that if the ether is real, it is the only thing in this universe that that doesn't have any measurable qualities, and that's why it's so difficult for somebody like Albert Einstein to understand, because, like, well, he didn't know math either, but if there is some kind of a substance that you cannot measure or put a value into it, it's really difficult to take that into your equations and make it a part of your equations, which is why he had to come up with dark matter and dark energy to fill the void
It's all
that could have been
assumptions.
that could have been just filled with ether. I
So
bet Cryptic Girl is thinking about something that she wants to say, but she can't. And I'm feeling it. And
one
I
of
want you to tell it to me right now.
one of the guys that I follow on YouTube, and he's gotten around to like publishing 2 or 3 videos that are maybe like 30 minutes to an hour every week. So it's always going over stuff of like, you know, don't allow this whole system that they've set up to stress you out, and instead keep at that 30,000 foot view. You know, don't get tied up into it. You know that some fuckery is happening. Well, this guy, earlier today, I was listening to him, and he said basically that the eclipse is a sign that the globe Earth model is bullshit. Can you validate that, Facing? Just based on the eclipse?
Mm,
I was right.
yes,
Look at
and
Cryptic Girl's comment. I knew it. We're connected at the head, lady. That's funny.
Duraj and I are trying to press the buttons at the same time. So what he's doing, I'm undoing.
lol.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Facing,
this is really
Yes.
interesting.
please
Go on with
Yeah, the
address.
shadow that
the
it
eclipse.
the
Yes.
shadow that it casts
Mhm.
supposedly could not be generated by a sphere.
It's not even the size of a state.
No, exactly. But then they come up with a magic word that is called penumbra. That's the only instance, only described, never observed, only in the way that they tell you that the shadow on the earth
Yeah.
is where the shadow is smaller than the object. We cannot generate a shadow smaller than its object, but only in the heliocentric model.
Yeah.
And to explain it,
Yeah.
we
Only
created a
in the
magic
case.
word called penumbra.
Yeah. Only in the case of this specific thing, namely the
Ramon, we
moon
called
going
out
in front
Ken.
of the sun.
Yeah,
We
Ken
called out
Wheeler
Ken
is a
earlier,
legend.
and that
Oh
was
yeah.
who we're gonna make a, you know, we're gonna
Pick-
have to go on shifts in order to ask him questions.
Yeah, pick his brain. Yeah. We're
I
gonna
wish
we're
I
gonna
could.
make we're gonna make Ken happy once we're happy.
Hey, Crypto
I
Truth, are
wish I
you
could
still
talk
in
to the
here?
old guys.
The old guys, which old guys?
So the old professors that we had in the 50s and the 60s, when science and physics was actually taught the way it should be done, those guys like Eric Lay-Waite and what was the other guy's name?
I took honors
Remember the name.
biology in high school, and my teacher was saying that the height of his teaching career was an 85, and since then
Mhm.
the
Downwards.
the program has been going down, and so they just
Yeah.
keep on shaving off what it is that we're supposed to be learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Keep
not like you
putting
don't
new
need to.
theories on top of theories on top of theories on top of theories.
Yeah, and they teach kids like stuff that they don't even need to be learning yet.
Everybody check out what Crypto Truth has put in the guild, as well as inside of like the marketing chats. Um, he's he's printing off a bunch of decals right now in order to put them on clothing, and so he'll have tons of clothing here soon with this new design, and it's
Looked
pretty
amazing.
freaking cool.
Looked amazing, my man.
Yeah.
Really good looking stuff.
So I don't know exactly. He said that if you're in Dominica, then get a hold of him. These things are available, and quite possibly he can ship them elsewhere as well. But the shipping costs are the biggest issue. You know, getting it off that island. But maybe the guys in Puerto Rico, maybe you guys would be, you know, discounted rate
Which
or
one?
something.
Which one is more expensive? Crypto Truth. Is it the physical space that the package requires, or is it the weight? Because I've seen people have like huge queen size bed mattresses delivered into their house in this vacuum bag where it takes really small space when all the air is sucked out, and then you just release the valve and it fucking fills up all over. So if that's like a thing, like if we can squeeze a few shirts into a tight package, is it cheaper than just shipping it in like a loose plastic bag which is really wrapped up tight?
I
That's what,
see what
what I
you're
was
saying,
asking.
but like it's probably got to jump on a plane, right? So it's probably the weight,
So it's both. Yeah.
dimensions and
Cool.
weight of package. He says.
Yeah. Yeah. But usually one or the other is more expensive. It's probably weight since it's flying.
So something that I wanted to mention is like how here in the Bear, like people are coming back around. Now people are having new relationships or renewed relationships, and so we're like we did get maybe reduced down a little bit, but I'm really excited about what's happening. Like all the chats that I'm in, they're popping off. Like everybody's very active right now, and
Yeah.
I'm really excited. There seems to be like these new connections. I just repeated myself twice. Diraj, do we have any sort of housekeeping to do?
No, no, we good.
Yeah.
Just I'm still thinking of the word you wanted to come up with for knowing the
The
pace
pace
of
of nature.
So just on a side note, like I think I've recommended this book a couple of times. It's called The Tyranny of Words. It's a very old book, like mm, written in 1931 or 32 something. Uh, cool book, like how languages kind of languages and word is limit our thought or imagination in a sense, but
Yes.
that's a different topic altogether. Maybe we'll go down that rabbit hole some on one of another streams. Till then,
Yeah.
everything is looking good. We have reached the 1 hour mark. Do you guys
Yeah.
yeah, some
Well, yeah. Let's call it here while the going's good. There's no point in sticking around until it gets lame. We'll leave something for next week as well.
We might have a surprise guest.
Oh, that sounds nice.
So yeah,
Did you guys like my guest,
if you're thinking
Ukko?
in
What
English,
did you
you're
think of
limited
Ukko?
to the words. Yeah, dude, we loved your guest.
He was fucking awesome. Oh, also, I wrote an email. D-Rush, mute your shit. You're bouncing back all the time. I I I sent an email to the Australian fella, Adam Stokes. and I invited him to join some evening. And I think he already
Nice.
said that he'd be coming. He would be willing to come and talk with us.
One of the few channels that I actually watch. I
Yeah,
like Adam Stokes.
yeah, he had a good stream today. I didn't manage to watch all of it live, but I hopped in. He's taken a
I
liking to
haven't
me
seen it
because
yet.
he hasn't spoken to me personally. He still thinks I'm a fun guy. I'll get him fixed as soon as I get him on. Ah, look, it's the police. They're coming to take you to Yale, man. Ah, man, is it your dad?
No, this is not my father. Let's see. This is the guild group, which is kind of a permaculture group, which originated out of the idea. Or permaculture is an ecosystem that self-renders, that it keeps all of its energy amongst itself, and it's sort of an orb of energy, right? Am I loud enough?
Yeah.
And so that's sort of like our common bond here, is recognizing the energies of the universe. And this is inside of the Hex crypto community. So we're just a small little facet inside the community. I would like for you to introduce yourself. And he just popped by because he has work in the area, and this is my storefront.
Awesome.
So my name's David Bowen. I got into crypto back at the end of 2021. I'm 69, and my wife and I helped too many people in the past, and we didn't have enough money for me to be able to retire. And I started looking at stocks, and of course, stocks are looking at 5 to 10 years or more. And I have a few, but I had a friend of a friend tell me about Hex, and I was too late to get into Hex. I just got in at PulseX. And so the Pulse had, gosh, I think I missed it by 3 weeks as well. So I talked with my wife, and she said, yeah, let's put in $5,000. And
Awesome.
we're doing dollar cost averaging. So every so often I'm able to put a little bit more. And then, of course, we were there for when it went online and got the free token. So it's just like, okay, fingers crossed. And of course, I listened to B Roots and Sami as well to entertain myself during the day while I'm working. I still work construction, and most of my work seems to be on tile roofs. And my wife keeps telling me, you got to retire, but I can't yet. So I got my fingers and all my toes crossed.
Hopefully it won't take too long. I would like to point out that a million hex today only costs what, $5,000-6,000, and a million hex was worth it was worth $500,000 at the last all-time high when we were there, like 2021. So if you want to get into the
Feels like yesterday.
so if you want to get some of that yield without counterparty risk, now would be a perfect time to incorporate a little bit of hex into your DCA buys, because it's looking to me like we're at a really low place, like regarding the price. So the risk down is really small compared to the risk up,
right,
in the future.
Nicely put.
I'm not a techie, but this guy that helps me out, Pharrell, he said I'm a squid on Pulse and PulseX.
That's nice.
So Hex, I can't remember. You'll have to forgive me, gentlemen. I have a real hard time. I don't have ADD, but with attention span, you ask me to do construction or fix something, I can do that. But techie stuff, I'm lost, and I hit the wrong button even on my password every time I try to open my phone. So I'm doing the best I can, and I have to rely on others. And that's why I stopped in to see Davin. I thought, okay, he's here. I got to talk to him because I need some help.
That's cool.
So
Tell these guys how it is that we met.
Okay.
It's a funny story.
So, gosh, that's got to be last year.
It was like a
summertime.
year ago.
Yeah. I think it was near fall, but it was end of summer. And I went to our local market.
It's fine.
And I saw this older pickup truck, and it was just loaded with Hex, Pulsex stickers. And I thought, okay, I had just come out of the store. I am going to wait and see who this guy is and talk to him. And so that's how we met.
He camped out at my truck that had hex stickers all over it.
Legend.
I think it
That's
took
awesome.
me 45 minutes, and he was doing a run and a walk around the lake. So
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
better to wait rather than like leave a note in the
I
window.
wasn't
or
even
something.
in the grocery store that he was waiting outside of. I was actually
Yeah.
passed up the grocery store and went down to the lake.
Yeah. Yeah.
and I was looking at everybody coming out and thinking, okay,
This
so am
could
I
be
gonna
the
a-
person.
Is
That
that
could
him?
be
No,
the-
that's
Yeah. What you could have done is you could have backed into his door and leave your contact information under the windshield.
Yeah,
wiper.
pay for my dents.
Yeah. Sorry for the small dent in your driver's side door. Call me about your crypto once you get the note. Once you get the note.
Does anybody have any more housekeeping or questions for our guest, or we could call it
Well,
quits?
hopefully-
It's 16 minutes after.
Yeah, we went too long today because we had a lot to talk about. It was a good thing we had. It feels like we increased a little bit of pressure in the vessel. You and I, like all it took was a couple of weeks to get pissed without being on stream, and then we're like, I'm juiced up. I'm ready to go.
let it all out.
Yeah, I'm ready to go for another 6 months at least without having breaks. It was nice meeting you. Hopefully you'll join us on stream some evening.
Well, when I get home, I'm like I say, I usually end up working on tile roofs because that seems to be my specialty in the last 20 years. And if it's 105 degrees out, that roof is 180 to 190 degrees. And this week was my slowest week, so I've worked through the summer, and and that's where all my extra money has gone into Pulsex and Hex.
That's
But
sweet, man.
I don't know if I'd be able to, because typically when I get off work, I eat and then I just pass out because I'm tired. And then I wake up at 9:30, 10 o'clock, shower, go to bed, and 6 the next day.
Well, just hop over in the chat or something and give us a
We'll try,
thumbs
Finn.
up
Thank you.
and try to be like, just join. We talk about all sorts of crazy stuff here, usually relating to gardening or agriculture or like food and that kind of stuff. But today we kind of went a bit off rails.
So if you're
But what-
listening to B Roots, then you have Twitter Spaces in your ear.
No, I do YouTube.
Okay.
Or
YouTube.
Pharrell sends me a link on a text,
Okay.
and I pull it up that way. But
Cool.
yeah, I've tried listening to the other people, and I mean, I don't know whether any of you guys have ever done construction, but I know you have. But it's kind of boring sometimes when you work by yourself, and so I have listened to more podcasts than anything
Yeah.
this year
Yeah.
than I ever have in all of my life so
Yeah.
far, and I enjoy it because they're both. Sami's real funny. I don't know how in the heck that guy
he's
got a motor mouth.
He's hilarious.
Yes.
So how's your elbows? Pointy?
Oh yeah,
You got
very.
pointy elbows?
In fact, I have
Fluffy slippers.
fluffy
nice.
slippers. Yep. Blueberry pie.
That's cool.
Orange juice
Yeah.
with pulp and 3 ice cubes.
Yeah.
I don't know where he comes up with all this stuff.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, let's wrap it up before we hit 120. All right, everybody, the show's over. The monkey's dead. It's time you go home. Goodbye.
Good night.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Just for the final words, I wanted to mention that last week we completed 2 years of this channel. So this stream marks the beginning of the season 3 of Hex Guild.
Right.
So
It did feel special. It did feel special.
What's the name of it?
just no.
What do we name in season 3?
I haven't thought of a special name. We'll just call it season 3 for now. But
Let's call it
Oh.
martial law.
maybe.
Did you come up with that just like on the fly there, man?
Basically.
He was
I mean,
banking
that's the
on
mood,
it.
right?
I bet he was like, you've been waiting for weeks to get it out.
Run
Yeah.
down to the elections. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man.
Sound-
Remember, don't comply. Whatever they tell you, you can tell them to go fuck yourself. I have to take off. I gotta go and heat
I'll
up the
second
sauna.
that.
I'll see you guys later.
Cheers.
Goodbye.
And our outro.
The vision is to create the dream community, a retreat center, eco-village, sports facility, festival ground, to just really create the most beautiful place on earth.
So I'm taking on my biggest project ever, and I'm looking for the right people to embark on this journey with me. Thus far, I've been investing the amount of resources I have into this, and together with a small team of dedicated people, we've been able to get water access, electricity is being set up, and the first bungalow is due to be finished in a couple of weeks. And that's just the beginning. And Zanzibar is the perfect place to do this. Both because it's the most stunningly wonderful, tropical, exotic paradise, but also because there's so much potential to help the local community who are craving to enjoy the same opportunity as the rest of the world. Like proper co-working spaces with computers connected to the internet, professional sports talent development centers, proper waste management system. There will be retreats, workshops of different kinds, movie theater, lookout tower, basketball court, tennis court, football court, and natural coral rock pools, sustainable agriculture, music studio, podcasting studio, acrobatic park, yoga platforms. You know, a place to develop talent and creativity in all shapes and forms, in a free place in the middle of nature, in tune with earth, you know, as it should be. It's about giving value, it's about seeing the value we all inhabit, and it's about creating a new beginning in a society where we've forgotten who we are. I believe the future is held by those who come together in love, who understand that we are so connected, that we ultimately are one, and create from there, from the grassroots, where we have decided our own rules.
Champagne!